Hello everybody. Today we have an exciting lesson about data types. Oh yes, very exciting. Now I got a bit of a cold, so if I sound a bit funny, that's the reason why. Nose a bit plugged up. But anyways, let's just get right into this. I'll zoom in a little bit, just to make things a bit bigger. And I want to show you something here, that when I enter certain types of data, for example, text and numbers, and perhaps dates, let's try, what is it, 28th of March, and maybe another one. Okay, now I want you to notice a couple things, is that when I enter data, some things automatically aligned on the left, and some things automatically aligned on the right. Okay, and I also want you to notice this up here where it says general. When you enter data into Excel and you leave the data type as general, Excel will try to guess what type of data you're entering. So for example, here it assumes that you're entering text, and here it assumes that you're entering a number. Now, what Excel does automatically with text is text will automatically align on the left, whereas numbers and dates will align on the right. Now, you might ask why these ones here got aligned on the left when they seem to be numbers. Okay? The problem is with these two here, these two are actually not considered numbers and dates. Okay? Let's start with this one, 3, 5. Now, if you're an Italian, you might accept this to be a valid number, but like I mentioned before, this version of Excel happens to be an American version, and Americans use the decimal point and not the decimal comma, as it's sometimes called. So that is actually not recognized as a number. And this may cause problems if later on you try to do calculations or something. If you try to do 3, 5 plus 3, 5, it's gonna not work. It's gonna give you an error. Okay, so that's considered text, okay, not a number. Similarly, this is also considered text and not a date. And the reason, again, is that we are using the American system, which uses month, day, year. So of course, there's not the 28th month, okay? So this cannot exist, whereas this can exist, and this would be December 3rd. That's why when I just entered the date and the month, you can see that it came up with December 3rd, okay? So later on, I'll show you how to deal with dates, but let's just keep it at there for now, just to remember that text is a certain way and numbers are a certain way, and it's very easy if you're entering data and you notice that when you're entering a number it jumps to the left side. Okay, that's a good indication that there's something going to be wrong there. Okay, so be careful when you're entering your dates and numbers, because later on if you try to do addition and arithmetic and stuff like that, you could be running an error, and you might be like, well, what's going on? I have no idea. Take a quick look, because you might be trying to add text, and that's what's causing the error. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other data types. So if you click here, you can see a list of various data types. Okay, now if something is text, you can't force it to be a number no matter how hard you try. If I click on number here, it'll still be text. Even though it says it's number, it won't recognize that. Okay, so you can't force something to be something it's not. Of course, if I take my name and I try to make it into a date, it's not going to work. It's not going to do anything. It might say that it's a date, but it's not going to function like a date. Okay. This is just to help you get some formatting. So for example, if I take this column and I format it to be a number, okay, now having formatted that, every time I enter a number now, it will automatically give me a certain type of formatting. And you can see that here it says number, whereas these, I think it leaves it as general. Okay, so that's a number. Things you can do with formatting, for example, number formatting, is you can actually increase or decrease the decimal places. So if I need more precision, I can increase that. Less precision, I can decrease that. Okay. Do note that with your position, if I put 3.5, notice that it does round my number. See, there's the actual data there. So sometimes people get confused and say, oh, I put 3.5, how come I see 4? Okay, so it's just that you don't have enough precision to see it. Okay, so you can see it there. So it does round, right? 3.555. Okay, and I got 3.6 because here I have 1 decimal place. Okay, so those are numbers. Okay. Other things to notice. Accounting and currency are very similar. The only difference between accounting and currency, I'll show you really quickly. Let's make column C. Let's make that currency, and column D, we'll make it accounting, and you'll see very quickly the differences. So okay, so I'll enter some numbers there. Let's enter some numbers here as well. And basically the only difference is currency keeps the currency symbol next to the number, whereas accounting puts them all on the side. Okay, so that's the only difference. With your currency and accounting, you can change the type of currency. For example, here you have various types, and if you need more, if you need like, I don't know, you can always go in here and choose which symbol you have, and it has like all sorts of weird currencies that I have no idea where they come from. But there you go. So let's just do something that we know, and let's make that into a euro or something like that. And there you go. And by default, you see they add 2 zeros. If you want, I don't know why you'd want to, but you can change that decimal places. But we know money often usually goes into 2 decimal places. Okay. Similarly, you have things like percentages. Here. Also conveniently, you can have them here. Okay, with percentages, what I'd suggest is first format your cells and then enter the data. So here I formatted, you can see percentage, and now if I enter data, you can see it comes out to the correct percentage that I type. Okay, if you do that the other way, first entering the data, and then you try to format, what will happen is that it adds on 100%, and then, yeah, that's often undesired. Okay, so I'll leave that here for now, as the video is getting a little bit long, and I'll let you kind of digest that a little bit, and I'll put a part 2 to this video to talk about some of the other data types.